Minnesota has one of the largest disparity gaps in the country between white families and black families. According to U of M researchers with the Mapping Prejudice Project, homeownership for white households is around 78%. For black households, that number is around 25%. Now, although racist restrictions in neighborhoods is illegal thanks to the Fair Housing Act, which protects people from discrimination, it's still, as you saw from those numbers, a major problem. In fact, thousands of homeowners in Minnesota still have what's known as a racial covenant in their deed. Essentially, these covenants were put into property deeds to prevent people of color from living or occupying land in white neighborhoods. And what the Mapping Prejudice Project has done was scoured through thousands of public records, highlighting this hidden racist clause in deeds that many homeowners likely didn't know existed on their record. I talked with Kristen Delegard, the director of the Mapping Prejudice Project, as to why this data is so important into understanding why this huge disparity gap still exists today.
This exploration of who had access to housing when, what were the barriers for certain groups, is key to understanding why we have such high disparities in Minnesota today.
Now, part of the Mapping Prejudice Project is to inform homeowners in Minnesota about these racial covenants. I recently sat down with a Plymouth couple who had just found out that their house had an unknown racist past.
But this is the original old house. My parents sitting on the front step.
Paging through memories of the past.
My dad bought the property in 1949. Him and my mom designed it and built it themselves, and we were all raised here. Merry-go-round my dad built back in, I don't know when.
What once was a place Ellen Crichton took her first steps.
My mother in the kitchen.
Is now a place her grandkids are doing the same.
We bought the property and refurbished it. You know, I love it.
In the same yard.
I love it. I love it. I think it's awesome.
This Plymouth home passed down from one generation to the next. But little did Ellen and her husband Rick know.
I was flabbergasted, literally, that was on the deed. I couldn't believe it.
The Crichtons found out that their family home had a racial covenant in their property deed.
It says no persons of any race other than Caucasian race will use or occupy any building or lot except that this covenant shall not prevent occupancy by domestic servants of a different race domiciled with an owner or tenant. Isn't that horrible?
In layman's terms, the land was off limits to those who were not white. And although illegal, the hateful racist language still exists in thousands of deeds in Minnesota today.
I'm sure that my dad didn't see that in the deed. I'm sure he didn't read the entire thing.
To me, it's embarrassment that's on there to start with, but to sell it and then have that on there, and if somebody pulled it up during something and saw that, I'm like, yes, I didn't even know that was on there.
The Crichtons were told about the Just Deeds Coalition, which is a group of attorneys, realtors, and various cities that provide legal and title services to help property owners find discriminatory covenants and discharge them free of charge.
We're well over 1,000 covenants that have been discharged.
Maria Cisneros is the city attorney for Golden Valley and part of the Just Deeds Coalition. Having removed a covenant on her own home, knows how important it is.
The law doesn't delete the language from the historical record. It's always going to be in the property records. But when you discharge your covenant, we fill out a new piece of paper that disavows the language in the covenant, and then you sign it, and then your name is now in the historical record.
Yeah, we would have passed it on with that on there.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that would be, I wouldn't want that on my conscience.
Yeah, and the Mapping Prejudice Project has found more than 55,000 racial covenants in property deeds across the state of Minnesota so far. And what's so interesting, you can go in and put in your own home address to see if you have a racial covenant on your home. But this is Minneapolis. You can just zoom in, and what you can see here, it might be hard to see. No, you can see it. There's patterns here, just like the Crichtons. They were like, my dad's not a racist. But it was in these developers, these whole neighborhoods, just chunks, home after home after home, have these covenants on them. And so that's why it's important for so many homeowners. Again, if you want to look this up, you can go to justdeeds.org, or I'll post a link in the article on our website, carolevin.com, but they'll help you free of charge to get rid of that. They don't really get rid of it, they change the language because they don't want to erase the past, even though it's a dark past. We want to just be brighter for the future, and that's what this is all about.
And there are probably so many people watching this right now that have no idea that this is in their deed, and they can go to this website and they can figure it out.
You can just type it in and find out.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.